All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Matt Garland here, NMLS number 58700. Coming back to you guys live with another real estate market update. So look, everybody in the chat, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get this video out to the masses. So today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite places in the whole wide world, right? Charlotte, North Carolina, and I have a special guest with me today. Introduce yourself for the people.
Hey guys, my name is Kristina K. I am the owner of and broker at Johnson Group Partners. We service both North Carolina and South Carolina. So we have a firm in South and we have a firm in North. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. I've been in real estate for over 4.5 years at this point. A lot of stress, a lot of coffee in the last 4 years, but it's been amazing. And I'm super excited to be here with you guys, especially the private members who are a part of the Academy, along with everyone who's watching on YouTube. So I'm excited.
So let's talk about this. You opened up, you've been in the business for 4 years and you have your own real estate firm.
Yes. Yes.
How long have you been a broker owner?
I've been a broker owner for almost 2.5 years now. We have 8 agents underneath us here in North Carolina, and our South Carolina office opened less than 2 months ago. So it's been fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So how's the market in Charlotte, North Carolina during this COVID-19 pandemic? How's it been over the last 30 days for you guys?
Over the last 30 days, it's kind of just been up and down. You know, our city, of course, much like other cities, is trying to settle itself. We're trying to figure out, who are essential, who are not essential. Initially, we were labeled as unessential employees or unessential business. So we were on tight restrictions not to show property, not to work directly with buyers or sellers, unless you were working in the realm of relocation. Lucky for us, our firm focuses on relocation. We relocate clients from across the country. And so we were able to, of course, get around that loophole by being a relocation firm with the primary focus of that. But as far as the market goes, we've seen buyers are still out looking, right? I think what really hit us was the change in the FHA VA requirements as far as credit scores go. So a lot of our first-time home buyers, a lot of people with lower credit scores took a pause and started to reevaluate if they were even still qualified to purchase. And that was a big deal for us. The other thing that we kind of saw a shift in was how sellers were reacting to the market as far as either jumping to put their home on the market or saving a little bit of time in putting their home on the market. So we saw an influx probably about 2 weeks ago when Charlotte released the tight restrictions on realtors of the market being flooded with homes for sale. Of course, Matt, we've been in a deficit or, a lack of inventory for quite some time now, but this is to be expected, right? It goes through its ups and downs. So that's what we've kind of experienced here.
So the first-time home buyer market kind of took a little bit of hit just because of the lenders.
Mostly because of the lenders, because there again, we had clients that were out looking with a pre-approval letter, and then to look up and say, okay, you need to have a 680, 620, whatever as a first-time home buyer, it kind of deaded a lot of first-time home buyers because most of you got to understand too, and you do, I'm sure you do, much like the followers and listeners, is that we have been, a lot of realtors advocate for FHA loans. We are constantly putting out, you need a 580 credit score, 580 minimum, 580 minimum, you can get into a home, only to bring that to a screeching halt and say, well, you kind of need a 600 or better at this point. And so people are like, I don't have a 600. As you know, it can be rather difficult to increase your credit score in a short period of time. We saw clients or lenders specifically, if it's not funded, it's not funded, right? The deal's not closed until it's closed. So people have been at the closing table or close to the closing table to realize that the requirements have changed and underwriting is calling for those requirements to be met.
All right, fair enough. So let's talk some numbers real quick, right? How is the market right now as far as homes on the market, average days on the market? Like how long does it take? And if a home is listed today, on general, just based off the numbers over the last 30 days, how long is it taking for a home to get into contract?
Yeah, so here in our Charlotte market, it varies based upon the price of the home, right? So if we're in the 150, 200 realm, I posted a house. We went live the 1st of April, like April 11th, I want to say. The home sold in 3 hours. There again, the home was listed at 210,000. We've had homes around the 250 price point go extremely fast as well. Anything below 150, of course, is flying off the shelves. As far as our market goes, between the 350 and the 450 range, we're looking on average at least 10 days on the market. And then there again, anything that's jumbo or luxury, of course, is staying quite some time. We've always seen luxury listings above 750 stay a little longer on the market, but they are flying off yet still. So there are people, as I told all of my brokers, there are people that are still qualified to purchase. There are people that are still out there looking to purchase. And of course, sellers are looking to sell.
Yes. And that's what I try to been telling people is that, look, everybody thinks there's going to be some sort of crash, right?
Yeah.
With real estate. And what I'm trying to tell people is you can't bank on something that's hypothetical because right now, although the numbers, if you're looking at the grand scheme of things, since
Mhm.
COVID-19 and everybody got quarantined about 30 days ago, yes, the numbers should be down a little bit. Absolutely.
Right.
Right. But if you look at the total picture, it's not that bad, in my
No,
opinion. It's not
my,
that bad at
yeah,
all. It's
yeah,
expected. You
yeah.
have to expect some sort of decline right now because people are home, people lost their jobs. But the market, the general consensus that I'm getting from everyone, from every realtor that I'm speaking to, is that the market is still flowing and moving accordingly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Um, Especially here, I've been telling my agents, I probably, since the onset, I've been telling them, listen, real estate is a incline and decline. It's a come and a go. It's like water, right? It just flows. You sometimes it's rushing and sometimes it's moving a little slower than it normally does. Typically in April, we would have an influx of, so this time last year, we probably had at least 100 homes hitting the market every day. Today, 49 homes hit the market, but that was from this morning. So if I check again this afternoon, there may be more homes that hit the market. But for the better part, we're not seeing extremely low numbers to say that, oh, people are in this desperate time to sell. We told our brokers from the onset that, we kept saying there's a shortage in inventory, shortage in inventory. The way that we can get more inventory is if people are selling homes. And the way that people sell homes is foreclosure, desperation, pandemics. These are all to be expected. And I think if you plan ahead, as we've told each one of our brokers in their business, and as we've told our clients, if you plan ahead, it won't impact you as severely as one may think. It's just like everyone's running around with like fire torches saying, I'm going to find a home in 3 months for a $350,000 home is going to be 98,000. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not 2008. We prepared for this.
Yeah, look, man, I try to tell people that all the time. What happened in 2008 is completely different what's happening now. The housing, the banks, we caused the mess, right? So obviously you're going to see more foreclosures, and especially because the way the laws were set.
Right.
Banks were able to foreclose so much faster 12 years ago than what they are now. The government was reluctant on helping the banks and bailing out the banks and things of that nature. You see what they're doing right now. They're printing money left
Right.
left and right to try to keep everything afloat and everything to
Mhm.
keep going. So I personally believe that, will the real estate market crash? No. Will it be some sort of correction over time? Absolutely, but not as deep as people think is going to be. I don't think we're going to see 20%, 30% decline
Mhm.
across the board in residential real estate.
Yeah, I totally agree here. I mean, in Charlotte, of course, has been booming. You guys came. Charlotte has been booming since, I mean, wow, for years now. We've done nothing but grow and grow and grow. We've become a hub for a lot of different companies and corporations. So we have not seen where people are lighting their pants on fire, so to speak. And there again, I keep telling my friends who are first time home buyers or who are talking about their credit, continue to pay your bills on time, continue to increase your credit score, because if and when the backlash from so many people doing forbearance happens, I want you to be prepared. I want you to be prepared for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. So let's talk about, you said the first time home buy market just because of the FHA scores and VA scores increasing from lenders. What about like first time home buyer programs? You know, someone who's out there, maybe they have the credit score, but they need that DPA, that down payment assistance or closing cost assistance. Are those programs still being offered by the local government?
They're not. They're not, honestly. They put a stop to it because it's all local funding, right? So as of right now, I think our city is just trying to figure out, okay, and same for upstate South Carolina. We're just trying to balance things out and say, okay, how do we stay afloat in general? We help the riskier borrowers, but we also understand that we need to make sure that they're not getting into situations where they can't afford it. They can't afford the home in general. So a lot of it has stopped, to be quite honest with you. Some of those big name companies that we've seen buyers flock to in order to get the down payment or the lower interest rates, they have been kind of like shying away from them, or I guess you would say giving them the runaround. We've run into at least 6 or 7 clients in the last week who were with a popular program, and now they're just getting like spoon-fed information, whereas a month ago they were like, sign up, sign up, sign up. Our brokerage has done something really awesome. We are offering up to 1% of our commission back to our buyers. So we actually offer money towards closing costs for our buyers. Of course, you know that we can't offer money for down payment, but we've worked our butts off to make sure that our clients are supported on the back end, whether that's negotiating closing costs from the sellers or assisting in some capacity. But we also want to make sure that our buyers are purchasing within the right price point, so they're not going out and overextending themselves, and that they're budgeting correctly. To not need, and I want to say that it's okay to need the programs, but not be heavily reliant on it. As you know, Matt, with the funding that's in our city, you could qualify for down payment assistance through some of our government entities like the HEROES program and things like that. But if the money runs out and you're under contract, the money's not guaranteed to you. So you could literally be under contract and then the funding goes out.
Now, was this happening pre-COVID-19?
This was happening pre-COVID.
So it's business as usual, basically.
Business as usual for us. Yep. This was happening. Funding was running out. I mean, you know, I work with Channel 9 News here to talk about affordable housing. We're huge advocates for it. I'm a native of Charlotte. So we talk about affordable housing quite often. And we were running into scenarios where people were going through a national company and only to be, you know, told that the funding, while they're under contract and beyond their escrow period, that the funding is gone. And so now these individuals are stuck losing out on a lot of money they put down on a home. The other thing that we found is that sellers have been reluctant to lend to individuals with that because we have to disclose that information in North Carolina. If your client is receiving down payment assistance, we have to disclose that to the homeowner. And the homeowner in return is understanding that they accept this down payment applicant, that there's a possibility funding could run out, to which it has multiple times, which has given it a very negative stigma.
So down payment assistance pre-COVID, during COVID is up in the air based off of availability of funds.
Correct. Correct.
Sounds like business is normal as usual to me.
Yeah, business is normal. I tell that we had a lot of real estate brokers. Like I said, we went to initially Mecklenburg County had us as non-essential, and then they released restrictions allowing us to show property, only vacant homes, and within, you know, of course, practicing social distancing and things like that. And so we've seen more homes go off the market recently. Really what dampened our city was the restrictions put on real estate brokers. That's really what got us, because even now we've gotten emails from the city of Charlotte asking us what had happened was that homeowners who were desperate to put their homes on the market were reaching out to their brokers. Their brokers were telling them what we were told, that there was a fine if we were out actually engaging in real estate services that were not virtual. And so they started doing for sale by owners. And so they allow people in their homes without protection of real estate brokers which then allowed us that opportunity to advocate for ourselves and say, hey, we're needed. Because if we're not there, you risk public safety by these homeowners just doing it themselves. And so since then, we've seen more homeowners kind of using us, and then more buyers, of course, are out and about.
So now let's talk about inspections, appraisals. Since you have essential and non-essential, you have the quarantine rules going on. How has that been for people over the last 30 days trying to get home inspections and appraisals done?
Business as usual. Quite honestly, business as usual. All of our contractors are required to have access to what we call the super key. So they have access to the properties, much like we do. We of course are sanitizing, and when they're going into homes, especially our home inspectors, we've asked that the homeowners leave a lot of the cabinets open so the way they can see things. So there's precautions that are taken, but to be quite honest with you, it is business as usual for us here in Mecklenburg County. Those were essential service providers before they were actually granted permission prior to real estate brokers, in servicing our clients. So it's been the same.
And what about closings? Social distancing rules
So
taking
yeah,
place for closings?
yeah, so that's been a little bit of a challenge, right? So that's been really cool. So what we've had happen is that people are doing drive-by closings, which is pretty awesome. I want to say that because you don't have to get out. And to be quite honest with you, some of us brokers are like moving and shaking all day, right? So to sit in a room at a desk, we are an attorney state here in North Carolina. If no one's aware, we're an attorney state. Same in South Carolina. We do a lot of our closings in front of an attorney, who does all the title work and things like that for us. So we've been, sitting in cars and bring the paperwork. They sign all the paperwork. Someone's on the phone and it's been really, really different. But there again, our company focuses on relocating clients. So virtual tours, virtual closings, mail away closings, virtual title work stuff. That is not something that we're not aware of. We've been doing it since forever. It's just different now because our entire market is doing it. And so everyone's like, what do I do? And what do I bring? And it's like,
Yeah,
same stuff.
yeah. So basically, by any means necessary, deals are still closing,
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
and people are taking, the precaution to keep safety, keep the distance, and wear their gloves, their mask, and be safe during these closings.
Yeah, absolutely. Same with a lot of times you guys lenders, you guys don't get to come out and see the clients. You guys are just behind the guy and gals behind the computer screen. And so you guys don't get to see us as often. So this is not like completely abnormal for you guys as far as closings go and funding. But we haven't seen, like I said, we've seen a few lenders close doors, and those independent people who are brokering loans and things like that. But when the going gets tough, you get tougher, and I've tell my brokers that, now is the time to really double down on what short sales are, bank owned properties, how to market those properties. I think is important, especially for real estate brokers, to get the right information to pass off to clients and consumers. We had a huge uproar when people were telling folks that interest rates dropped to 0%. And we were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Interest rates are not 0% on mortgages. Like,
Definitely
no,
not.
not at all.
Yo, if mortgage rates was 0%, my God, I would have a
Oh
loan
my God.
from here to Charlotte.
I'm like, listen, I'm like, wait, I'm very blessed that my brokers at Johnson Group Partners checked in with me first. Like, is this information accurate? Should I be sharing this information? And I'm like, no, if you are not following Matt on Instagram, then no, if he has not posted it, if you have not checked with your person that you go to,
I like
do.
that. I like that. I like that. I'm the
Yeah,
source. I like that.
yeah, I mean, you can't because you do have some people that are inexperienced as far as brokerage goes, as well as lending, and oftentimes they're so greedy, or I won't say greedy, they're so hungry to get business that they're quick to give out information without fact checking. And we must always fact check. We must always fact check with the professionals. I don't want to swerve into lending. I like staying in my lane, and not having any trouble with my traffic. So I try to say to my clients, I don't know. Let me get the answers for you, or let me hop you on a three-way call and get clarification. But yeah, it was tough when I got a lot of phone calls. Interest rates are 0%. And I'm like, no, they're not. not
Yeah,
here.
I think people just didn't really understand the difference between Fed fund rates and actual mortgage rates, and it's two separate things. But I think there's so many people that put out information to kind of correct that. From what I'm seeing, not just from myself, but just other industry loan officers and just realtors across the board. And that's what I love to see is that all of us are sharing the right information, and that's kind of why I wanted to do these market updates and bring on realtors from different cities, because who's better than to explain what's happening in the market than a
Absolutely.
real estate broker, right?
Absolutely.
You guys have your sleeves rolled up, you're in the mud every single day, out here talking to buyers and sellers. You guys have your fingerprint on a pulse of your local markets.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of fear being put out there, and it has people really confused. So I'm hoping that these segments of real estate updates are coming from realtors are going to help, not just our EYLU members, but also our folks on YouTube or whoever watches my content. Hopefully, this guys will give you a little bit more insight on what's going on in everybody's market, and then I'm just keep doing these every month, to keep it updated, because this is a fluid situation that we're in. What we say today can change in a week from now, just
Correct.
depending, you
Correct.
know?
I totally agree with
So, so let's talk about, I know in Charlotte, in North Carolina, I'm very familiar with the Carolinas. I went to school in North Carolina. Shout out to NCCCU, Historical Black University. I'm a college dropout, but I still represent for my
you.
Eagles,
Okay.
Eagle pride, right? So, so I'm very familiar with North Carolina. I'm very familiar with Charlotte. I have great friends in Charlotte. I love the Queen City, one of the best cities that are on the East
I
Coast,
agree.
in my opinion.
I agree.
It's booming. From I went and to show my age a little bit, I'll be 42, and I was going to Charlotte in late 90s. And just going from late 90s to early 2000s to mid 2000s to today, I mean, it's a complete night and day. It's like it's not even the same city.
It's
Let's
not.
talk. Let's talk about it from an investor standpoint now. We covered the first time home buyer market. What if someone wants to invest into Charlotte? What are the great areas? What are the top three areas to invest in Charlotte or the surrounding cities?
Whoa. Mm. If I had to name my top areas, I would say stay away from Charlotte.
Stay
Don't
away from
come here.
Charlotte.
Don't come to Charlotte. I'm just kidding. So Charlotte is, because it's boomed so much in the last few years, it's become extremely expensive to live here. And I won't say extremely because New York is expensive. I'm just saying it's expensive for what we've known to be the norm. Like let's say 10 years ago, you can get a 2-bedroom apartment for $950. Now, 10 years later, a 2-bedroom apartment is going for like $1,900 a month. Like it's grown a lot. If I were going to invest, which I am an investor, I own property out this way, I would look into Belmont, North Carolina, and Gastonia, North Carolina. The reason why I say that is because of an area that is being developed by Crescent Communities. It's called the River District. It's going to rival both Ballantyne and South Park, and it's located right behind the airport, on the west side of town. So if you are interested in investing in the Charlotte market, I would say that Belmont, North Carolina, and Gastonia are going to see a huge change in the next 10 years. Amazon just built their second center out there, their second distribution center out there. They've got the infrastructure in already. It's not widely discussed because, as you know, Matt, things are put in print more than they are broadcasted on the media platforms. And so if you read about it, you'll know about it. But if you don't read about it, you won't know about it. I bought my home in 2018, a 2-bedroom bungalow on Catawba Avenue for $135,000. The value of it today is $198,000.
How much did you
No,
pay for it again?
135,
And what's the value?
198,
Okay. How long ago was that?
2018.
18. So about 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago. It's a 2-bedroom bungalow, no upgrades, no new roof, no nothing. I literally bought it because I knew about the River District coming, and I'm so glad that I did. It is tenant occupied at this very moment, so I have somebody out that way. So my top three, of course, would be, oh, I'm sorry. And the reason why I chose that area was because it is 9 minutes to the airport and 16 minutes to Center City, Charlotte. So it's right there. So Cramerton, Gastonia, anywhere in Gaston County that will have you 15 minutes to Center City, Charlotte is a fantastic investment. Anything in Matthews or Mint Hill is a fantastic investment. As you guys know, schools sell homes. So as long as you're in a decent school zoning, then you'll more than likely have a great tenant or a decent tenant in the area. Of course, we service upstate South Carolina. So I would be remiss if I don't mention Indian Land and Lancaster, South Carolina. So Indian Land is grown tremendously, Lancaster as well. So I would say for sure, if you can grab maybe something for 120, 130 in Indian Land or Lancaster, you'd be okay as well.
All right. So now these are condos and single family properties.
Single family.
So let's talk rental income. How much rental income will that property get?
So like I said, school sells homes. So for instance, my property in Belmont, North Carolina, my mortgage is $700 per month. My tenant pays $1,250 per month.
Do you self-manage it?
I self-manage. But
You
I own
self,
my brokerage. So it's like my
yeah,
brokerage manages it.
yeah. So 750, so you're about 500 bucks a month.
Yeah.
Profit. So around $6,000 a year. So is that kind of, and that's like a 3 bedroom, you said?
That's a two bedroom.
A
Two
two
bedroom.
bedroom. So
Mm-hmm.
you got a 2 bedroom getting 1250. Now, if someone was to get like a 3 or 4 bedroom home, how much could you rent that out, and what would it sell for?
Yeah. So around here, a 3 or 4 bedroom home, you're probably looking around the $200,000 mark. It's probably going to go on the market for close to like 1650, 1750 a month in rental. Rental income is what it's going to eventually be. There again, you have areas. We have some investors that are with our firm currently that do communal living. Are you guys familiar? Are you familiar with communal living?
Nah, break it down for us.
Okay, so in our city, what we are allowed to do is similar to Airbnb, but it's called communal living. Basically, I can have a 3 bedroom home, and each tenant can split the common areas, but they pay for their rooms individually. So like each room could be 750 per month or 800 a month, and then all they're doing is sharing the living room, laundry facilities, kitchen, and then backyard, of course, if they're going to hang out backyard. But instead of just getting, for instance, my home in Belmont, when we decided to rent it for $1,200 a month, before then we had it as a communal living. Each one of our tenants paid $750 a piece.
So why would you change that, right? So if you're talking about 1,500 versus 1,250, that's about it's $250 difference. Why would
Mm-hmm.
you go from communal living to a long-term lease?
Yeah. So the only reason why I went from communal living to long-term lease is just the sheer fact that it just became a lot for me. I own two brokerages, right? So I'm extremely busy. And so I do self-manage, but I had two tenants in there. One tenant was leaving, one tenant was staying, and it was all great. It was fantastic. The money was fantastic. And then I had a single father who said to me, I want to, stay in the room. Can I do that? And he had 3 children. And I'm just like, we can't do that because I wouldn't fit the fire code. So when the second tenant moved out, I just gave him a call. So it wasn't anything as far as the market goes. It was more of a heart decision.
A personal decision,
It
basically.
was hard, for sure. Even now, when this COVID-19 happened, I offered my tenant free rent. And then he said no. I said, okay, if you don't need free rent, can I pay half and you pay half? And he's like, that could help me out a little bit. So I paid half, my tenants paid half. And then I talked to my other landlords. They also agreed to pay half of the mortgage and allow the tenants to pay half as well until this subsides. I truly believe in Matt,
Oh,
this.
salute to you for that.
Thank you. I truly believe that when you give, you are given stuff. I feel like, when you give out of the kindness of your heart, when you take care of people, people will take care of you. I truly believe that. And so we want to make sure that we're taking care of everyone. Our firm offered each one of our agents a stipend. So we were able to give each one of our agents a stipend in order for them to sustain themselves during the COVID-19. We're extremely blessed that we're still moving Further ahead, our clients are going under contract. Our brokers are securing buyers that are securing financing. And there again, another hard decision in saying that when you take care of people, you will be taken care of as well. And so we're in a good position here.
Wow, that's amazing. So real quick, I want to give a shout out on YouTube with the super chat. We Run Las Vegas. Shout out to We Run Las Vegas with the super chat. I appreciate the love. YouTube, got any questions? Put that super chat in the comment. I'll get your questions answered. EYLU, if you guys have any questions, you're in the Zoom chat with me right now, raise your blue hand and I'll get you on with Kristina to get your questions asked and answered. But We Run Las Vegas. I appreciate the love. The channel appreciates the support. So communal living, we kind of call that like just rooms, written out rooms here. So I guess that's basically the technical term for it. Now, is that common down in Charlotte, written out rooms?
It's become a lot more common. It's not something
more with student housing though. I would assume with student housing and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, internships. People are coming here for internships with NASCAR or with BOA because we're the hub for Wells Fargo, BOA, those kind of companies. We just had the Bank of America, BB&T. The BB&T and SunTrust merger, so that has brought an influx of people who just need short-term housing, and it really works out well for people because, like I said, here in Charlotte, it can cost upwards to $1,400 a month for a one-bedroom apartment in Uptown Charlotte. But if I can get a room rental, I can save a little bit of money and have a safe place. And so that has become a lot more popular here. And it's great because it's all inclusive. So you have, your electricity, basic television channels. You have a common area. Everyone helps to keep it clean. Imagine MTV Real World. It's like one of those situations. But it's great for tenants for sure.
Yeah, that's great. That sounds like a good opportunity. Now let's talk about multifamilies. How's multifamily investing in the surrounding areas of Charlotte?
So all of our multifamily it gets snatched extremely fast. I mean, we have a lot of heavy investors that come here. And they come, of course, coming with cash. Multifamilies go the fastest here in Charlotte, above anything else for investors. It's very rare to find one, but we have some fantastic wholesalers, some phenomenal wholesalers on our team. One of our home sellers, he just had a baby, so he's out, but Dominique does a fantastic job at going out and finding those sellers who are ready to sell, whether they're the nursing home, maybe just lost a relative and they're just ready to get rid of it and offload it. So we've had some extreme success with working with Dominique and his team in finding those wholesale deals for our investors.
All right. So price point, like what's a good area to find multifamilies in your market?
In our market, you're looking around $350-ish, $400,000 range is what you're looking at. The further we go south, of course, in South Carolina, it can change. One thing I want you guys to know about South Carolina is that there's a 6% tax on real estate versus a 4% tax on real estate. If you live in South Carolina, so it's owner occupied investment property, you get taxed on a 4% rate. If you do not own or occupy and you only own to lease, you get taxed on a 6%. So a lot of people shy away from investing in South Carolina because of that 2-point difference. In North Carolina, there is no difference between an investor's tax and a single family or, owner occupied residence. It's all the same.
It's all the same. So for a $350,000 property, be more like a duplex, a triplex, a quad. What are we looking at?
So down here, we're most known for duplexes and quadplexes. So you'll see a lot more duplexes than you'll see anything else. It's very rare that you'll see anything more than the quad. Of course, you get into the conventional loan phase and all that good stuff. So you don't see it as much here. There again, duplexes go really fast. We had an investor, our community that was selling off property, and it was an old apartment complex. They ended up converting it to condominiums and selling each condominium off. So we see that happen a lot too.
And rental income. So on these duplexes, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, like what's kind of the unit mix?
Yeah, the unit mix usually here is around 2 bedrooms, 1 bath on each side. You may find a 3 bedroom, 1 bath as well. I found a lot of the 3-bedroom, 1-baths over on Ashley Road, so the West Corridor. I've seen a lot more of them over that way. But yes, typically you'll see a 2-bedroom, 1-bath on both sides. If you get a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, of course, that's more the 350 range. But a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, you can probably still it around maybe 250,
Now,
300.
how much rental income per unit? Still the same 1250?
It depends. It really depends on where it's located because, here in Charlotte, we have different financing options. So we have people that will go with a voucher, and they will only pay what the market will bear. So when you're looking at tenants who have a Section 8 voucher or a Salvation Army voucher to help subsidize or help offset the cost of their lease, they won't let you pay above charge above market. Now we've had some landlords that gouge. Now we've had some landlords that do that, where the home is clearly the market says maybe 1,100 at best, and they're collecting maybe 14, 1,500 or 1,600 from tenants. We've gotten a lot of investors that have gotten in trouble with charging above what they have agreed to charge with the Salvation Army and Section 8. But it just, like I said, it just really depends on where it's located. Here in South Charlotte, where I live in a very affluent area. So over here, a 4-bedroom home is going to be every bit of like almost $2,000 a month. I'm in really great school area. And my location is good. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive than you would charge or you would pay in the West Corridor.
All right, so now let's talk, since you brought up Section 8 and Salvation Army vouchers, what's the process to get your property approved to be Salvation Army or Section 8 ready?
I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you're an investor, I love these things. If you're an investor, I would focus on Salvation Army, getting your property ready for Salvation Army. They have the least restrictions on getting their tenants in. They are literally the owners of the homeless shelter. So they are like, listen, I have a tenant, I have somebody I've been working with. They're, not on drugs, not drinking, not smoking, and whatever. We are willing to pay this amount of money. We got a tenant into one of our properties in a week's time. And we were traditionally looking for a standard, a normal tenant that just walked off the streets. But the Salvation Army reached out to me and said they had a single mom who needed a place to stay. They paid her deposit. We required 2 months deposit. She signed a 2-year lease. So we required a 2-month deposit for the 2-year lease. They paid that. They paid her rent for 4 months in advance, and then gave a commitment letter that they will continue to assist her over the 2 years of the lease, which was fantastic opportunity for our landlord. The other thing about Salvation Army is that they offer a reconciliation fund. So let's say your tenants are in the home and they are trashing the home and they break the windows and ruin the refrigerator. Salvation Army has funds to come in and restore your home to the original condition. That is not offered with Section 8 vouchers. If you have Section 8 and the tenant ruins your home, you're just going to take it from security deposit. That's all you can do. But Salvation Army offers that. The other thing is that I want you guys to take note of is that in North Carolina, in Charlotte in particular, we do have organizations that will allow for their tenants to do communal living. So they'll still pay for the room for their tenant and things like that, which is fantastic. And then you can get plugged in with the VA hospital. And there are some veterans who are offered subsidized housing vouchers. And you can actually get awarded some veterans if you are really big on helping people get into homes, because they can pay for their housing as well. So we have that here. We have 2 VA hospitals, one in Salisbury and one on Tabola.
So with the Salvation Army, with that tenant, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much did you get from Salvation Army, and what was the market rent for your apartment?
Okay, so we had the house rented for $1,350 per month. We got all of the $1,350. Salvation Army didn't fight us at all on the value of the home. So we didn't get any kickback. We submitted our paperwork, maybe 3 or 4 documents. Of course, that was it. She signed the lease agreement. They paid the $1,350 deposit for 2020, and they paid the 1350 deposit for 2021. And then they also paid her a couple months up front for her. They mail us a check every month, and we have deposit only credit cards. So if you're a landlord, I would suggest getting a deposit only credit card for your tenants. It's basically a debit card offered through PNC Bank. The tenants can actually use the debit card, put their 4 digits into the ATM, and deposit their rental income straight into the bank account. And then we just account for it that way. So I don't have to see my tenants at all. They just use their deposit only debit card to pay. And then we grab the check from the office from Salvation Army to offset that to send off to our landlord.
So to get your apartment Salvation Army ready, you didn't have to do any special inspections, nothing like Section 8?
They came in, they did a very basic inspection. They just wanted to make sure the doors locked, the heat worked, the fridge operated, and that was it. There was no switching out GFI plug outlets. There was no, and there again, Section 8 can be extremely difficult when it comes to working with them. If a tenant calls Section 8 and says, oh, my landlord won't fix X, Y, and Z, they will stop payments right then and there. They will, and the tenant knows that. Some of these tenants are habitual, not saying complainers, but they've gotten so used to the system, they know how to finesse the situation to not have to pay rent this month. They know how to complain to Section 8 the way Section 8 doesn't honor the voucher or won't send the voucher out to the homeowner. And so we just shied away from it, just from all of what we heard about them. And then there again, we went, initially we were gonna go with Section 8, and she said, oh, well, we just have somebody that's gonna come in and check the paint on the wall and all this stuff. And I was just thinking, how difficult do I want this to be for my landlords? My landlord's actually located up there with you guys. I have 2 landlords that are up that way that have invested down this way.
Wow. So I'm glad you just brought that up. Out of state investing, right? People, especially New York, Cali, high cost areas where it costs so much to play the game. It's easier to get involved down there. Like, how are you making this process easy for your out-of-state investors to purchase property and get tenants?
Yeah, so we make it very easy for them. From what we try to do is give as much as comparables we can for them to purchase, and then of course outline all of the ways that they can invest here. I had a client yesterday from New York who called and said to me, do I need to get a license to actually lease my property? Do I need to get, and I was like, ooh, we don't have that down this way. All you need is a licensed real estate broker to help you purchase the home, and then of course put the home on the market. Once the home goes on the market for either rent or communal housing, we handle everything after that. So you really don't even need to be here, to be quite honest with you. But there are some landlords who want to put eyes on their property, and that's okay too. If you're a client, as a landlord, if you're interested more in the idea of doing flips, I would say, yeah, you need to come see what you're buying. Like, just don't buy anything far away, states away, and never come see it. Because, of course, contractors can be good and bad. So you want to make sure you have your eyes on everything. But having out-of-state investors is what we've done all the time at Johnson Group Partners. We work with people out of state consistently. And it's just a matter of making sure they understand the entire buying process and leasing process for our state.
Okay. That sounds good. Listen, if you're on the YouTube, man, make sure you smash that like button because Kristina's given a lot of great information, especially about that Salvation Army. That was a whole gem because I never even thought about the Salvation Army to provide assistance for tenants. And that was a gem. So I hope you guys paid attention to that gem right there. So if you're on the Zoom chat, if you have any questions, raise the blue hand. YouTube, if you have any questions, just let us know because we're all busy professionals here. And I'm trying to get as much information as possible in a lot of time that I have right now. We're not going to be on this all day. So let me get Eddie who's an EYLU member, has a question. Eddie, can you hear? Hold on, let me unmute you.
Yeah.
Eddie,
Yo.
what's up, bro?
Hey, the Salvation Army program. I'm in California. Is anything like that out here?
I can definitely research it for you, Eddie. I don't have a problem doing so. But there again, you just want to go to your local Salvation Army, or you know what, Eddie, whoever runs the homeless shelter. So like for us here in Charlotte, we have a men's shelter, we have a women's shelter. And so what happens is those individuals, they're not there just because, you know, they lost their job. Some people are there because of domestic violence situations. Like we had an instance where a single father, for me, my tenant specifically, he has daughters, right? He has daughters. He
Yeah.
can't go to a men's shelter with his daughters. They have to split them up. Who wants their little girls in a facility miles down the road and they're here, right? So I would strongly suggest you reaching out to talk to somebody, maybe a caseworker over at Salvation Army, and say, hey, I have these homes for lease. If you guys are in here in our city, and I'm speaking for our city, Salvation Army is where people go to get rental assistance, is where they go to get their light bill paid if they're so far behind. Do you guys have something like that, Eddie?
Not that I'm aware of, but then again, I haven't really looked into it either, so I'm not quite sure. I know there's programs and to help people with things like that, but I just unaware of.
Those are the people you want to talk to, Eddie. You want to be talking to those caseworkers who work with people who are behind on their rent, who are behind on their mortgage. I mean, behind on their mortgage, behind on their rent, behind on their light bill, because they have direct access to people who are either getting evicted or people going through a tough time. And because they're already having money allocated to helping those people, they will also help them find suitable housing moving forward. So I would totally reach out to a caseworker and say, hey, you know, do you guys have funds similar to this? I'll also do you one better and reach out to my caseworkers and figure out if they know who's a point of contact for you. So do me a huge favor, reach out to Matt and give him your city and things like that. And then I'll give you as much information as I can.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a great program. I mean, where do you run into, I'm sure as an investor, you guys see it. The tenant will move out. They've trashed the entire unit. Their security deposit was $800, but it's going to cost $500 to clear it out, and then $300 in repairs and all this stuff.
I got property in Central Valley, California. It's a modular home, and the tenant there is saying, like, you know, I'm affected by the coronavirus, and I'm not going to pay rent right now, and but we don't know if he's working or not. You know what I mean? And we try to gently tell him, you know, this is the process. And he said, well, what you did was illegal. We can go to court, and just went totally left on. So it's like, I don't want to deal with something like that, but I'm dealing with something like that now.
Yeah. Eddie, one thing I would say too, and this is for everyone, as an investor, as someone who's going to be working with customers and clients, always have an attorney in your back pocket. I have an attorney right now. I could text him and he's going to send out an email really fast. He'll loop the client on it, with me on it, and go, send me blah, 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 blah. And he's like quick to do that. What I would suggest doing is, of course, asking, you can ask for him to provide proof that he's been laid off. Hey, if you've been laid off, can you provide me proof of that? A letter from your
employer,
boss, your employer, or what have you.
He's stating, like, you know, feet in concrete, I'm not moving. The law says this, and he said what you did was illegal. Yeah. Nobody's evicting people and none of that. So it's like trying to talk with them. It's yeah.
Yeah, and this is the thing too. It is the thing too, Eddie. Sorry to cut you off. We all think we're professionals until the professionals walk in the room.
Yeah.
So I like to say, I'm like, you're an attorney. Yeah, you're an attorney. Great. Talk to my attorney. And let's come to what is legal and what's illegal. And that's what I've been telling people a lot. Even on my Facebook Lives, I tell them, listen, pay your bills, because even though you don't want to create bad blood, and that's what your tenant is doing. When the time comes in the CARE Act, you got to understand what the CARE Act allows you to do as a landlord and what it doesn't allow you to do. If you want to evict a tenant and have not paid, he doesn't understand. He better be saving all this money for the next 2 months, because when the courts open back up, everyone's going to be there evicting.
He was already late in paying stuff. My property manager just wants to like put him out. She wants to just evict him, and because of all of the other issues that's been on top of this.
Yeah, if you have other issues outside of that, what I would do there again, Eddie, is my attorney, I wish I could give you his information. I'm not sure if he operates in California, but there again, I would say grab an attorney and just say, hey, I see this console. I just need you as a go-to person when I have tenant-related questions. And then start documenting everything. That way, when you go to evict him, you can say, listen, this has been ongoing since the very beginning.
Okay.
Your property manager should still be sending out those letters.
Yep.
Documenting every last conversation. I wouldn't do anything via phone. I would do it all via email to ensure that I have everything documented.
Text message is still legal, correct?
Text messages, yes, we're supposed to. I'm not sure what the law is in California. In North Carolina, we have to keep all communication for 3 years. In South Carolina, we have to keep it for 5 years. So text message is still a means of communication. So if you do have text messages, be sure to download an SMS backup, and that way you can store them all in one place and have them for proof when it's time to evict someone. Also, what your courts are saying.
Also what?
Look at what your court is saying. Now, there may be, and I would suggest this for your property management person, there may be some loopholes. For us in the city of Charlotte, we were told that we were not essential workers, that we could not do business, because we were not essential. But they gave a little line and a little exclusion for people who work with relocating people. That saved my firm. We work primarily relocating. That saved us from having to sit still for 3 weeks while everyone was trying to figure out PPP and EIDL. Like, we were okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate your question.
Great
Matthew,
question.
We'll connect for you, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get another one on here. David, I'm coming to you, and then Patricia next.
All right,
David.
cool. You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, David, how are you today?
Hey, of course, as soon as I get on with you, my daughter wants me. Come on, baby.
Oh, tell her I said hi. I love little kids.
Say hi.
It's always a good thing to be able to juggle parenthood and entrepreneurship and all that in one space. It's a good feeling.
So I heard you do a relocation.
I want to see.
Oh, it's nobody, buddy. I'm just on here.
Look.
They can't see you, buddy. Give me 1 second, okay?
Okay.
All right. So I see you do relocation, and when I saw MG post this, I was like, man, I'm planning on going to Charlotte. I need to get on there. So basically, right now I'm outside Chicago,
Okay.
and I was planning on moving to Charlotte at the beginning of next year because like you said, I heard it was booming, and the real estate here is expensive, and I don't like the taxes here either. But the places I saw when I was looking down there, I kept looking at Charlotte, then I kept drifting outside of Charlotte, and one of the places that kept popping up was I kept ending up in South Carolina and Indian land, like you were saying, and I was like, what was
It's meant to be. It's meant to be, David. Bring the whole family, bring the sons, bring the daughters, bring the wife. It's meant to be.
Bring everybody.
Bring everybody.
Cool. So that's a move I'm definitely looking at making. I was going to put it off, but after hearing MG talk about how the market and everything is the same, I was like, it's probably still good to make that move. But since you specialize in, relocation, I figured.
got you. I'm actually building a house. Just so you know, I'm building a house in Indian Land, South Carolina, as we speak. And I'm going to give you the rundown of my home. I posted it. You guys will see it on my Instagram account. It is a new construction home. I bought it for $338,000. I negotiated over $40,000 off of the purchase of my home. My taxes in South Carolina are $1,700 per year.
Oh, snap.
Oh,
Not bad.
That sounds great.
$1,700 a year. My HOA fees are like $500 a year. We don't have any amenities. I was totally okay with that. But they're $1,700 a year. The same home in Mecklenburg County would have been close to $3,200 a year in taxes. That's how different it is.
Wow.
where I'm sitting at right now, I live in Ballantyne. I am literally 8 minutes. I am 8 minutes away from my new home.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So I'm about to look at Indian land. That's what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll get your contact information and we can go deeper into this.
Absolutely. Absolutely, David. You'll love, and Charlotte is so warm and welcoming. Indian Land, Fort Mill, Tega Cay, Rock Hill, all of those, that's what we service. That's our second firm services, all of upstate South Carolina. But it's a beautiful area. The taxes are much lower. There again, we're at 4% down in South Carolina. In North Carolina, it could be onwards and upwards.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we'll chat later. I appreciate it. Thanks for putting this together.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Patricia, I'm coming to you right now, Queen. Patricia.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How are you?
All right. Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you, Matt. And thank you, Kristina. I'm so happy to be on this call. Because my husband and I, we're in between Virginia and Charlotte, North Carolina. Awesome. Yes, we have a home. We purchased a home in October 2019 to live in. It's our retirement home. That's in the 28269 zip code. And we purchased the rental in that same zip code, and we were getting it ready for tenants, and then this happened.
Yeah.
So my question is, right now, I got all my appliances, everything. I just need to get my granite and countertops in. Granite and cabinets in. But is it really feasible to open it up for tenant for rent right now? And here's the other thing. And we were looking, we did not plan to self-manage. So we're looking for a property management company as well.
We love to help you, Patricia. I'm going to say this, it is still feasible to open it up. As I mentioned before, we work with people that are relocating. So we have people that are coming in for short-term rental. Someone's husband is coming down and he needs to be here for the next 6 months. And, and the wife is trying to pack everything up. There's so many scenarios for why I say open it up and allow tenants to come inside of it. You may want to connect with Salvation Army, much like we have, and I'll be happy to assist you in connecting to find out how to get that guaranteed money. I do love, honestly speaking, guys, between Salvation Army and Section 8, I am a huge advocate for Salvation Army. I can't express enough how many times I've seen tenants trash buildings or homes, and then the landlord's left with the bill. Salvation Army wants to make sure they take care of your home, especially if you're putting new granite and new countertops in there. There's somebody that really wants that place, Patricia. Don't be afraid to open it up, because you don't need to carry that burden of that mortgage and it's just sitting there. People are still out looking.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And also too, we're looking to invest in other rental property as well. We're buy and hold investors. So
yay!
We're kind of waiting. Philip, I don't know.
So Patricia, so tell me this, because I'll tell you why I chose to buy and hold. Why not fix and flip? Why only buy and hold?
Well, tax purposes. That was one reason. We'd rather get a cash flow as opposed to just lump sums. And children, they, hopefully they'll move with us one day.
Yeah.
And so they had to have somewhere to stay too, because, we all have to have separate residences.
Yeah. I know. Patricia said, listen, you're grown, go.
Right. But, we're also trying to teach them how to take over the business.
Absolutely.
But we look forward to being down there permanently, and also just looking at the areas, because Charlotte, we've experienced the Mecklenburg County as far as the cost, and we wanted to branch out and everything. So you'll be in touch with me.
I'd love to, Patricia. I would love to support you and your husband. I'm the same way. I believe in that long-term mailbox money. I like mailbox money. I like going out there and I got a check. I love the mailbox money. There's no knock against wholesalers. There's no knock against fix and flips. I have a goal of doing at least 2 or 3 in the next, I don't know, I said this year, but opening up 2 real estate firms has been busy, right? But I enjoy mailbox money as well. Both my sons, all of my properties, my sons are added to them as well. So if anything was to happen to me, yes, Morgan, and we're in Charleston also. If anything was to happen to me, Carter and Mason have homes. And I wanted to make sure that, as I share with my followers all the time, I'm a product of foster care. I grew up in the foster care system. So I went from begging people to let me stay somewhere to owning multiple properties. So if that's not
Get it, Queen, get it.
I'm like, listen, I was begging. So I don't want my sons to ever beg, to ever have to sleep on someone else's couch. But I want them to have a nice place. And so the home in Belmont, the home in Salisbury, they each own. And then our home out here in Indian Land, they're part of that as well. And then I plan on purchasing at least 3 more properties to make sure my kids have a home.
Oh yeah, I got
Love
to talk
it.
to you. What is your Instagram?
My Instagram is Kay Sold It. So it's KaySoldit.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so
Matt.
much, Patricia. Thank you, Patricia and husband.
Thank you, Patricia.
All right.
So let's get on. Let's see who else had their hands up. We're gonna come to Morgan, but first, before we get to Morgan, Hank Dorsey. Shout out to Hank Dorsey on YouTube with the super chat. The channel appreciates the love.
Hey,
Thank
Doris.
you very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you, Hank. So let's go to Morgan. Morgan Bailey.
There's
Morgan.
Morgan.
Hello?
Yep, you there,
Hey,
brother?
Okay, quick. I just had a question. I moved from Providence, Rhode Island. I had a 3-family there I just sold. And now I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. I came in a little late. I was just trying to verify that you did work out here because I'm looking. And MG, I'm going to be sending you my information as soon as I get off the phone. I'm just trying to find my electronic copy of my 2018 taxes.
Well, let's do it, brother. That's music to my ears.
Awesome. Yeah, so Morgan, we are in Charleston, South Carolina. We actually have a broker down that way. And we work in Columbia as well. So right there in Charleston, Columbia, we're good to go. Of course, the restrictions have been placed, and we're hoping that they open up South Carolina soon. But to be quite honest with you, I am telling all of my investors, give us a month. Give it a month. These people that are doing these, investors who are over their head, already at their kind of like threshold of having too many liabilities, are going to see that they need to sell really quickly. So we're going to see in a couple more months that people are selling more often because that forbearance. Have you talked about forbearance to a lot with everyone? So yeah, so that forbearance, if they haven't prepared for it, it's going to hit them really hard. So those multi-units are going to start selling really, really quickly. But yeah, so they're there. They're there for sure. You said you sold something in Rhode Island?
Yeah, so I was moving down here. I moved down here. I'm currently staying with my sister, and I wanted to buy another multi-family, so I could do it again.
Are you going to house hack?
Sorry?
Are you going to house hack? Are you going to live in one unit and rent out the other units?
That's the plan.
Okay.
So I'm still trying to figure all of that out. I don't have a defined plan, but that's what I was thinking, just moving. That's what I was doing in Rhode Island.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Like Nipsey said, I didn't have it figured out. You're not going to have it all figured out at one time, but you can take little steps. What I would suggest doing is let's just follow the market and see what's happening and see what's popping onto the market. As you know, Charleston is a booming city as well. It's quaint in its own way, but it's got some growth that's happening. It's never going to be a huge like Columbia, but it's definitely an area that I would say hold your horses on and get ready to saddle up because it's going to grow and boom extremely fast.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get locked and loaded so I can move, but I would love to talk to you more about it. And MG, I'll be sending you my stuff.
Awesome.
Appreciate that, Morgan.
I think Morgan made a really great point of preparation is key, guys. Whether you're an investor or you're a first-time home buyer or a second home buyer, preparation is key. It is very important that you get yourself locked and loaded and ready to go. Because once the market opens wide open, like it just opens wide up, those interest rates, I'm hoping, are going to come to a point where they're stimulating the economy by getting them low enough to have people out there actually shopping and buying. And so you want to make sure that your credit score is high enough to go and get out and go after those things. Some people right now who are not paying their bills, Matthew, I don't know if you've seen it yet, where people who have done the forbearance, they were told that it would not hit their credit scores. And in actuality, it is hitting the credit reports as a late payment. If you go 3 months without paying, that's 90 days late. And then from what I hear, you can't refinance within a certain time frame. So people are going to be
the late, I think that was an error. That credit report that's floating around the internet. I'm sure the bank is going to overturn that late payment, but it will probably hurt people in the future to refinance or to purchase property because of the forbearance or deferments that they're taking out, because there's not a 12-month chain of on-time payments once you decide to take the forbearance or the deferment. But again, lenders, we don't know, like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or FHA, they didn't give us any guidance on that in the future. So everybody right now, we're all speculating that it will hurt you. I'm hoping that they come out with some sort of guidance stating like if it was COVID-19 related, then disregard. So that way we can continue to keep things moving. But as of right now, there's no information. So it's uncertainty. So that's why I'm encouraging people, if you can pay, pay. If you really need it, then do what you got to do. And you got to deal with consequences later on. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. You got to, and I've been telling people that I'm not going to pay my bills, and same to what Eddie was saying. You have tenants that are in places and I'm not going to pay it. I don't have to. And it's like, okay, it's going to affect you at some point. Believe me, it's going to affect you, whether it's the landlord for closing and going to the courthouse on you, or the loan or bank foreclosing on you. It's going to affect you. If you can pay, pay. Be sweet. Guys, be sweet. What you put out there, you get back,
That is a fact, 100% fact. So we're coming up on a little bit over an hour. So I like to keep these a little bit close, because I don't want to waste your time anymore or mine, because we both have stuff to do. But we're going to get to one more question in the group. But first, I want to shout out my brother Andre Hatchett, who's watching live on YouTube. He hit us with
Thank you so much for watching.
With the monster super chat. So Andre, as always, King, I always appreciate your leadership. So James, let's get James here, who's an EYLU member. James, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Good.
Hey, so thank y'all so much, for hosting this. So I actually joined late, so I was just wondering if this would be posted in the web portal in EYL University.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the Facebook group. Are you in the Facebook group?
Yeah, I'm in the Facebook group.
Yeah, so I'm going to put the link, and I'm streaming it live on YouTube also right now. So it's going to be on my YouTube channel. I'll also put the link once we get off and YouTube finish processing it. I'll put the link in the Facebook group as well, but it won't go in the actual EYL portal where all the classes are. Those classes, we like to keep those separate from what we do on YouTube and everything like that.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Just real quick. So Kristina, I actually live in the outskirts of Charlotte, North Carolina right now. So I'm Lincoln County.
Lincoln, you over there in Denver?
No, I'm in Lincolnton, actually. I'm in Lincolnton. So right beside Denver. Yeah, right beside Denver. Yeah, so I'm very interested to hear what was shared here. So looking forward to listening to the playback.
Yeah, I love Denver. You come right across the bridge. The water is right there. And you guys have access to Huntersville and easy access to Gastonia. So I love it. And your taxes are low. You're about the equivalent of being in Indian land with taxes. You guys have a lot more land out there. So for you, James, a lot of developments coming that way. If you're coming down Brookshire Freeway, you see where they've gotten the new Harris Teeter, all that stuff is happening. So all they're going to do is start pushing more development back. So if you can acquire some land out there, get you some land.
Absolutely. Actually, I work out there where they're building out all of that, like the new Harris Teeter and everything. I work at Corning. So, right. Yeah. So looking forward to it, though.
Yeah, getting some land right now is the perfect thing. I think one of the things that one of my great friends that's an investor, he's a real estate developer. He said, listen, see where the change is happening and go 10 miles in front of that. And so what I'm saying to you, James, is look where the development is happening and then go 10 miles in front of that. So coming 10 miles towards Denver, I just had some clients that moved to Killian Creek and try to find you some land out there. Nest Homes found them a good lot of land, and I think they built up a really great custom community. So yeah, land for sure out in Denver, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you,
So,
James.
so
I appreciate you doing this or coming on with us.
oh yeah, no problem, man. And one more question. I don't mean to tie you guys up. So do you see a lot of multi-unit, opportunities in the area right now?
In our area, they're slim because those investors are coming in with cash and are buying quick. What I would suggest doing, James, is just networking with a great wholesaler. Like I said, I have Dominique Bellamy, who I work with here in the Charlotte market, who goes out and cold call and all that stuff. And he'll give us first dibs on what he finds if a seller wants to sell.
Right.
And a lot of multifamilies in Salisbury. So we get a lot more multifamilies in Salisbury, the Rowan County area. Where you're located, James, you may still qualify for USDA because it is a rural area. It's considered a rural area. So you may be eligible for that. So I would suggest that also. But Cramerton has some multifamily units as well. But James, the only caveat that comes with coming to the more rural areas is septic. You guys have more septic tanks out there versus tapping into city water and city sewer. So, that's something to be mindful of.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, listen, I certainly appreciate it. I won't hold you up any.
Also,
what's that?
I said I appreciate it also. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, no problem. All right. Thank you, MG.
No problem, brother. This was some good questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Good. So one more time for everybody, how can we reach you? How can we book an appointment if we want to purchase primary residence or investment properties in Charlotte? How do we work with you?
Yeah, so I'm super excited. My team will be extremely excited to support anyone. So what I would suggest doing is visiting us online at johnsongrouppartners.com. If you don't go to johnsongrouppartners.com, but you're very savvy with social media, you can find us on at Johnson Group Partners on Instagram and on Facebook. And then if you want to reach me directly, you can find me at Kay Soldit. So it's KaySoldit. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So you can find me there as well. To book an appointment to talk to me directly, you're just going to use the option. You can send me a message, of course, or you can use the option on my Instagram account to schedule a consultation through my Calendly. But my lucky members here that are in the academy are going to get my Calendly link in the chat. So if you're not here, you guys got to get here. And they can use a Calendly link to schedule one without going through the extra steps. If you guys are not part of this exclusive academy, you guys need to get a part of it.
And make sure you tell everybody your IG and everything like that also.
Yeah, so my IG is just Kay Soldit. So it's KaySoldit. If you are a real estate agent in the Charlotte or South Carolina market and you need assistance or maybe want to join our team to assist all of these fantastic clients, you're welcome to schedule a time to talk with us as well. We are still onboarding in South, so I'm excited. The link didn't come through, Don. I apologize. I will.
Yeah, so we'll make sure we'll get all that information out to the EYLU members, and shout out to Earn Your Leisure. Couple quick things for everybody. Everybody that's on the Zoom call is an EYLU member. So you guys on YouTube, if you want to be a part of EYL University, visit EYLUniversity.com. Use my annual promo code, right? My annual discount promo code is EYLMG. All right, that takes 60% off the annual price. So you'll pay $149 instead of, I think it's like $300 or $320 or something like that. But you get 60% off that price, $149 for the year. You get access to EYL University, which has about 65 courses on there. My brother, Andre Hatchett, who hit us with the super chat a little while ago, he did a course. He was actually the first professor that we had on EYL University. He did a whole course on mobile notary, dynamic course. We have so many different courses already there. They're all webinar style with lots and lots of Q&A, anything ranging from how to be a millionaire real estate agent to financial literacy, life insurance, trademark. Obviously, we have tons of real estate stuff in there. So it's tons of classes, and we have classes every single Wednesday. We have this Wednesday a Section 8 class Wednesday night, 8 p.m. But then also, if you're a member of EYL University, you get access to the private real estate Facebook group as well, where we have tons of content going in on there every single day. And today at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we have a wholesaling class, Wholesaling 101. So if you want to become a member of EYL University, visit EYLUniversity.com. Use my annual promo discount code EYLMG. That code expires May 1st. All right. So, and then also tune in tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on EYL's YouTube page. We have Market Mondays with Ian. If you've been tuning in the last couple of Mondays, you know he's dropping gems about the stock market. So get all your stock market questions answered. 6 p.m. Eastern on Earn Your Leisure's YouTube page. Kristina, I appreciate you. I'm gonna let you in the Facebook group also. I'll send you the link so that way you can get in the Facebook group, so that way you can continue the conversation with our EYL members and talk about Charlotte and everything that's happening. But this was a great market update. To sum it all up, it's still a seller's market, correct?
Yes, we're still shaking and moving. So don't delay. Don't, prepare, but don't delay. Do not have what we call analysis paralysis. Get the facts and start to move and shake, because we are moving and shaking in Charlotte and upstate South Carolina.
Absolutely. So Dawn, I'm gonna add Kate to the group, so she'll be able to post the links and everything like that directly. And I filmed my Breakfast Club interview this morning, so shout out to Envy, Charlemagne, Angela Yee. I was on the Breakfast Club this morning. That's probably going to come out tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm not sure yet, but it was my first solo interview on the Breakfast Club, kind of giving a market update. It was good, man. You guys, only thing I'm pissed off, and guys on EYL, you guys heard me bitching and moaning about the lighting, and I'm like, damn, man, I didn't realize my light was off. That's why I got up, just to turn off the light, just so I can see how it would look on here, because that's kind of how it was when I did the interview with them. So
yeah,
this quality may not be the best quality, but oh well, who cares? You can't take it away 2 times on the Breakfast Club. Let's go.
2 times. Congratulations.
And I'm just a mortgage guy. Let's get it.
Fantastic. So, good job, MG.
So
good
trust
job.
me, you guys gonna know when that joint is, because I'm about to yell it at the top of my lungs. So hopefully within the next 48 hours that will air. So shout out to you guys. And yes, Vic, the 149 is good for the year. So you'll have from 4/20/2020 to 4/20/2021 before you have to renew your membership. And make sure everybody on YouTube, please, I am pushing hard to make MG the Mortgage Guy's YouTube channel the #1 channel for real estate financing on YouTube. More lives coming, more market updates. I got Houston coming. I got Jersey coming. I got the luxury market in New York coming. I got the regular market in New York coming. I got Cali coming. I got so many different more market updates coming, but also good mortgage education and financing videos coming too. So I'm actually building a studio right now, and hopefully that'll be done in the next month when I can get my supplies in and stuff like that. So I'm just going to be coming live every single day, all day. I'm about to turn this into a news station, right? We're just going to be bringing information from real people. And hopefully you guys are learning and you're retaining this information. I can't wait to get you guys up in the EYLU family. So make sure y'all use that discount code EYLMG149 for 1 year versus $29 a month. All right, Kay, I'm not gonna hold you up any longer. I appreciate you, Queen. Make sure y'all follow her, watch her content, support her. We don't have too many. We need more Black women owning companies, especially in the real estate space. So this is dope that within 4 years of becoming a realtor, she's now a broker owner. So let's salute Kay for that. That's major props to you. So
thank you so much. I'm so humbled. Thank you.
No doubt, Queen. So look, I'm gonna wrap this up. EYLU, 1 hour, we got the wholesaling 101 class coming. And YouTube, I'll probably be back later on. Make sure you turn your post notifications on, because I never know when I'm gonna jump on live. I'm just jumping on. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Peace.